coach now.
Merry Christmas to absolutely everybody in Vol Nation, fans, players, staff here on campus. Just the last 11 months have been absolutely fantastic for myself and my family, and we're so blessed to be here. And just appreciate everything that you guys have done, and wish you a Merry Christmas. Finishing up our bowl practice here this morning with as far as here at Knoxville, and excited about what our guys have done. Last 5-6 days, gotten more into to the preparation for Purdue. I think we're in a great spot, and excited for a couple days off for these guys to get a chance to go home and then meet up on Christmas Day with them back at the bowl site. Looking forward to that, and ready to go play some ball here on the 30th. So with that, open it up.
Start right there.
With Alante not playing in the Music City Bowl, how's the competition at cornerback been these last couple of practices, kind of competing for reps?
Yeah, for sure. A bunch of guys that have repped at it, have a chance to see multiple guys play there. You've seen during the course of the season guys be down, and next guy steps up and has performed really well. So expect good things from the guys that are out there, on the 30th.
Ben and Adam.
Josh, just with both of your tight ends coming back next year, just how excited are you for that, and what's their next step, and what are they capable of next year?
Yeah, both of them are just beginning their journey as a player. I really believe that their physical development will be critical this offseason. That'll be a big part of them continue to take another jump in their play. They've done that already in the 11 months that we've been here. I think both of them have been playing their best football, the middle half of the season on. They got a lot better understanding of how to execute and do the things that we need them to in the run game, in the pass game, in protections. Those two guys coming back will be a big part of us moving forward next year, and excited to have those guys back. They represent what's good inside of this program too. They're two great young people on and off the field.
How unique is their working relationship?
Yeah, extremely selfless. They don't care, they don't care who starts. They don't care who gets the ball. If you watch one of them have success during the drive, they come off. The other guy's the first guy to high-five them, tap them on the helmet. They truly help each other out, and they're great teammates and great leaders inside of our program.
Is rust a real concern in bowl games, especially on offense when you haven't played a month, and how do you combat that?
Yeah, for sure. You watch bowl games, turnovers, penalties, rear their head in those games, and rust is a part of that. I think that's why you got to do a good amount of good-on-good work while you're here at home too. Make sure they understand the speed, tempo of the football game. Bowl games are unique in that you got to have some fun and enjoy being around each other. But when you're in the building and it's football time, you got to be able to lock in. These guys have had really good practices here at home. When you get to the bowl site, you got to be able to manage that in the same way.
Patrick and Brent.
Coach, I think we asked you about Purdue early on. You didn't know much. Now that you've gotten a little bit more into game prep, what do you know about them, and what do you expect to see from them?
Defensively, extremely physical, play hard, front seven, physical at the point of attack, and we got to do a good job. You just look at them; they've done a good job in red zone areas, and we got to do a good job of creating some explosive plays, staying out of third and long with them offensively. Their ability to throw the football around is something that we got to do a great job of being able to manage. And your front four or your pressures, you got to get home and make it uncomfortable for the quarterback. Do a good job of getting it out of his hands, screen game as well. To do that, you got to be able to get your hands up and affect the throwing lanes as well.
Coach, a couple of house cleaning things. One, we're seeing some different protocols go into place for college teams in regards to COVID. Where are you guys? Are you dealing with anything? Are you putting protocols in? And two, where are you at right tackle with Cade, with the ankle, and kind of where are you at that position right now?
Yeah, Cade continues to get better. Hasn't got a ton of work here at home. We'll see where he's at when we get to the bowl site. He continues to get better. COVID protocols, doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Obviously, there's been a spike just in our population, general population. You're always concerned about that because it deals with just the safety of your football team. I think our vaccination rate's up above 90%. Some guys have gotten boosters. I don't know the number of guys that have, but we're in a good spot right now. Really haven't had many issues with it. But as you disperse, players go home, they come back, all of those things, you're concerned about all of that.
Adam? And then
Yeah, just to follow up on that, how do you find out about guys' status if somebody does test positive, or do you stay in contact through the holidays, or just find out when you get back on Sunday?
No, I mean, just the guys that are non-vaccinated will continue to get tested, and if somebody tests positive, that's when you find out.
Any anxiety with you, or do you just kind of, it's going to happen, it's going to happen?
Not anxiety, it's your first concern, right, when you're in this position is just the health and safety of your team as a whole. So that's the thing that you're most concerned about. You try to educate them consistently, throughout the entire year, not just during the football season or not just because of the bowl game. You make them aware of what's going on in the general public as they will be in that area more, just more time during bowl preparation, plus they're going back home and, try to make sure that they're taking care of themselves.
Whenever you go to a bowl game, the week of the bowl, there's all these other events and things going on. How do you balance game prep and all the bowl festivities the week prior?
Yeah, different for us. We don't have afternoon meetings. We elongate our morning meetings a little bit to cover up what happened in the previous practice and our situations that we're going into that day. When it's football time, you got to be dialed in and be into that moment. Truly focus on what's important in that moment. And when it's time to, you're done with the football side of it, your players got to enjoy that bowl experience too. And enjoying it is a part of being ready to go play and do it the right way at the end of the week too.
back to Brent.
You had several signees who were midterm enrollees here for practice the last few days. Not break down each one, but kind of general impression, and what do you think of that, of having a guy here for 3 or 4 days? What's the real benefit of that at the end of the day?
First of all, they're getting thrown right into the middle of it. We've been working with our players for 11 months for them to be where they're at and understanding our scheme, right? The great benefit for them is they get introduced to the team, get introduced to what the culture is, on the football side of it in the meetings and on the practice field. To get a ton of individual work. So to me, like in these 4 days or maybe at 6 days, depending, they all kind of came in at different times. They get great exposure. Now they got 3.5 weeks to go back home. They'll work out a little bit. They get accustomed to what we're doing in the weight room. So they get a chance to take some of that back home with them. When they come back, I think it just creates great comfort in coming here. They've already been introduced into their position groups. They know all the guys and truly have sat in the meeting room with them, hung out with them. I think it just eases the transition when they get back as well.
And as a follow-up, with Jared Minsky, you didn't talk about him obviously on signing day. I know he's here. What was the connection? What led you to him? What do you like about him? Why did you think he fit from a transfer standpoint?
Yeah, I had recruited him previously, knew his background. Coach Ellerby did as well. Young man that's got great physical attributes that is still growing as a player, and felt like the number of years that he has, he can come in here and make a long-term impact here inside of our program.
Back.
Hey, Coach, not football-related question. For Christmas coming up, do you have any fun family Christmas traditions, and have you ever received a Christmas gift that you would deem your favorite?
Christmas gift that I would deem my favorite? Man, probably a set of lockers when I was like 5 years old. I felt like my bedroom had turned into a locker room. I thought that was pretty cool. Purple and gold, big Vikings fan back in the day, so pretty excited about that. Christmas traditions. Man, major Christmas tradition is this afternoon I'll grab my daughter, potentially my son, but definitely my daughter, and we'll go do some shopping for my wife. That's number one checklist item I got to get done before we get to the 25th.
I guess Hinton telling you he was coming back probably counted as an early Christmas gift for you too. What was your reaction to him deciding to come back, and how much comfort does that give you knowing that position's, I don't say taken care of, but he's coming back and the way he played this year?
Yeah, just excited for him because he made a choice based on the information that he was provided that is going to help him in the long run, and he's excited and wants to. His heart's here at Tennessee, wants to be a part of this football team moving forward. So extremely excited for him, his family, and for our football team in that. Great leader, and just believe that he's still becoming the best version of himself as a player. Have an opportunity to change some things fundamentally, continue to grow. Last year you're so worried about getting your scheme in that some of the global view things you don't get a chance to touch on in year one, and so we'll be able to do that with him, and really excited to have him, and obviously the way that he's played. You look at it like a football game, like each quarter of the season, it's just continued to get better and better, and I think that speaks to what he's able to do next year too.
Yesterday, Warren Burrell talked about not only practicing on the field as a pro, but also in the weight room, in the meeting room, stuff like that. Where have you seen Warren kind of grow in his maturity level and, of course, his attributes on the field this season?
I think that's the challenge for any young player coming into our program is to have that mentality and approach every day and everything that you do that way. It's the challenge for the guys that are coming back to elevate their stock at the next level. I think Theo Jackson is a perfect example of that. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. That's happened for Theo this year, and he's got a great future ahead of him because of it. Warren is a young player that is only going to continue to get better. Physically for him, the strength and conditioning, the nutrition, everything that you're doing. Understand that every decision you make takes you closer or further away from your goals. Is something that is going to be big for him this off season. Being a pro in the meeting room, truly understanding his spot, but all 11 other, and how that affects his job, I think is how he continues to elevate his game. And as he does that, he's going to gain inches every single day. You look back on it when it's time to go kick off next fall, and he will have come a long ways.
Coach, obviously, when you get all these extra practices going into a bowl game, that's an advantage. How can your team grow, and in what areas can you grow with these extra practices going into the bowl game?
To me, it's like anything inside of this game. I got 2 kids. I watch them and see them every single day, during the off season, right? Like, you don't notice it until, you see a picture from 2 months previous, right? In some ways, football is that way, right? You're making incremental inches every single day that you're gaining. You look back a month or 2, or at the end of an off season strength and conditioning period, or at the end of spring ball, man, you see the distance that you've traveled. Young guys got a ton of development here in the practices here at home. Individual, group work, and then a bunch of teamwork too, and so become way more accustomed and grow in a really quick way. And I think that can speed up, accelerate, channel their focus when they come back the following semester and understand the gains that they need to make, before they get into a spring practice, and for some of the early enrollees, I'd say the same thing. The speed of the game, the fundamentals, everything's happening so fast for them. They get a chance to get exposed to it, man, it can accelerate their urgency when they come back here in January as well.
We'll finish with that.
How well do you know Jeff Brahman? Do you consider you two guys from a similar school of football, the modern, fun, wide open offense?
I don't know Jeff really. I think he's been in the pass game throughout his career everywhere that he's been. I'm not going to say pass heavy, but it's a major part of what they do. When he was playing early in his career, they were one of the first teams in the spread too, similar to my background.